This gorgeous boat is an Eastbay 60, and it's the first time we've had one of these beautiful boats in Australia. The Grand Banks group have brought this to the Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do a full walkthrough of this boat today. It's absolutely stunning. Some of the things I've seen on this boat I haven't seen on others. So let's step aboard and we'll do the full feature walkthrough. Start the tour. She's aptly named Sapphire because I think you'll agree with me, she's an absolute gem of a boat. In the transom, we've got a couple of very useful things. We've got some cooling drawers like this, and then we've also got a pop-up sink and also an electric grill. So what a place to come and stand on the swim deck and entertain. Fantastic. We'll pop that one down. The swim deck itself, as you can see, there's a section there which will lower down into the water. This would be perfect for a personal watercraft in my opinion. I'll show you where the tender actually is kept. Unlike a Palm Beach where this actuates up and there's a tender garage, we don't have this on the East Bay, but I'll show you where it is. It's very clever. Let's step up into the aft cockpit. Beautifully classic design. It's very spacious here. There's just the two seating areas, one there for 2 or 3 people, and then another for 3 or 4 people around this beautiful teak table. That is stunning. That's the hatch where we're going to dive down later to see the engines. But I want to show you this stone top. Now, you can't pick it up all that well. It's easier to see when we step inside, but it's illuminated. So you get this incredible effect with this illumination underneath that stone. It really is quite incredible. And when we step into the galley in the main saloon, you'll see what I mean. There's a bank here of drawers and cabinetry. Now this is part of the boat's cooling. So we've got an ice maker just here, 2 cooling drawers just there. The third along there is a dishwasher, and it's a little bit easier to see it here, that illumination underneath that stone. It's really quite something. I reckon at night time this would be absolutely dazzling. But that's a really nice serving area. You can see there we've got some Smeg appliances all lined up. That looks lovely. And by keeping the refrigeration in drawers, it lowers the overall profile of everything inside the salon. There's a better view of that stone. Tell me what you think about that in the comments. I love it. More cooling drawers there. The cooking, the electric hob faces directly out here. That's terrific. One, if you need to cook, great to look out and have a great view. And 2, if there are any fumes or anything like that, you can extract those. They'll get sucked straight out of there, so that's particularly good. Lovely sink and overhead storage as well, like this. That's a particularly nice space to be in my opinion. Lovely. The rest of the salon looks like this. We've got a beautiful L-shaped lounging section finished off in that very nice diamond stitching. That's always very eye-catching. A teak table, I think that's teak, that's on a telescopic support like this. So this is where you'd have your dining of an evening. There's 2 lounge chairs like this. They could pull over and tuck underneath the table if you needed the extra dining space. And then just behind those, you've got a television that rises up. So I think the way this would be used is you'd have that table in its up position for dining, and then when you want to watch TV, you could lower that down. You might even be able to put some extra cushioning on there to pop your feet up on, to make like a bit of a like a little bit of a lounging bed almost. But that's probably how that's used. Handrail above like this to hang on to when you're underway, beautifully wrapped in leather, really quite nice. And then we move forward and we see these two beautiful Helm benches. What a place this is. Both finished off in this beautiful diamond stitching. That leather is incredibly soft. Geez, that's very, very nice. And then the other here in front of the Helm. Now there's access straight out onto the starboard side. This really wouldn't be a boat that you would decide to crew unless it was just for the day. There really isn't crew quarters on board, but you can see there that it's set up with a pair of Simrad 20-inch multi-function displays. You've got the chart plotters, the bow thrusters are just there. All of the push button switching for horns, lights, all of that is laid out there. And then right to the right hand side of the steering wheel, right next to the door, we've got the joystick control as well as the engine controls. So that's perfect. Another helicopters are going overhead. That's perfect to be able to do what I'm doing, which is pop your head out. You can see all the way forward. You can see all the way back. And that's very handy when you're wanting to maneuver your boat safely. There you go. So I think we'll use that side access door that I'm stepping through now, and we'll head up onto the bow. We're in the late afternoon, sun at the boat show, and this would be the time of day to enjoy this area. Lounging for two people like that, that looks inviting, doesn't it? With some drink holders, stereo, that looks amazing. And then there's this area. I reckon kids would love coming down here and having their own little spot to secret away from mum and dad, or even adults would find that fun, I reckon. That's lovely, and it doesn't interrupt the view forward as well. So by having that kind of little sunken lounge area, just keeps the profile nice and low. It's beautiful. Did you notice the teak rail caps? They're particularly nice, aren't they? They look fantastic. And then if I come forward, just in front of that little lounge area, we'll reveal the kind of hiding spot, really, which is where that tender is kept. So it's kept up on the roof. There is no flybridge, it's a sedan, but I'll step up and there is a ladder up. I'll go carefully, but be nice for you to get a better view of that. There's the searchlight. I'll just take a couple of steps up so you can get a better view of the tender and the crane. There you go. So that's obviously lowered over the side, the port side where the crane is situated, and then brought back up when it's not in use. But that keeps the profile nice and low with the flybridge. And you can see here, just where I am, this roof section motorizes all the way back, so that opens up that area over the Helm as well. So it's a good perspective from up here, actually. Glad I could show you. All right, I reckon we should take these steps back. I'll just go carefully down, and then let's go and have a look at the lower deck accommodation. Actually, let's just take in this view off the bow here. It's pretty nice at the boat show. Yeah, that's pretty nice, isn't it? There you go. All right, we'll move along. We'll come back down. There's a couple of steps down, and we'll swing past the aft cockpit again, back into the salon, and then we'll go back into the lower deck down this little companionway here. Okay, there we go. So let's go all the way forward. And the first cabin was a little bit of a surprise when I saw it before I did the video. Normally in the bow you'd find just a standard double or queen size bed, and here you can see we've got 2 bunks over the double. So that's pretty interesting. It does obviously increase the accommodation on board. So this essentially is a 4-berth cabin. If mum and dad had kids, then that'd be an effective way to keep everyone together. Or maybe you've got 4 or 3 mates that would all just bunk in together. That'd be a bit of a riot as well. Hanging locker space just here, like that. And there's more storage over there. And the good size flat screen TV as well. I don't know why we keep saying flat screen. When was the last time there was anything but a flat screen in a boat? I'll just start saying TV, I think. You can see just right down the centre line of the boat, there's all those access points. They'll be to things like bilges and other parts of the boat's systems. But if we duck left, you can see the first of the boat's heads. Beautifully finished off in here. The timber finishes and the mirrors and the floors are all very, very nice. That shower stall is like that. You know me, I've got a bit of a thing for shower stall finishes, and it's got a lovely little spot to sit and a nice niche for all of your things. So that's the first cabin, the first head, and then we've got the owner's cabin. And this is similar to what we've seen with Palm Beach in the way that they arrange their main owner's cabin down the length of the boat. And it's clever because it increases the amount of real estate that the owners get when the beam of the boat might only be 5 or 6 metres. So we've got a big king size bed. There's no steps into this cabin, of course. It's all on the same level as the companionway. And then the ensuite to this cabin is very nice. A nice hatch for natural light and ventilation in here. And then it's a walk-in shower. So that's extra big and very nice. Space for a friend. There you go. Aft from the bed is a nice dressing area and cupboard space. I might just see if I can find the light for down there. Oh, maybe I can't. That's okay, it looks pretty good on the camera. There's hanging lockers behind there. There's also storage just in there. And then there's also dressing mirrors just there. So you do end up, and hanging just along there as well, if you can see it. So you do end up with quite a bit of hanging space in this cabin. Particularly nice. I like the way that they do this. I'll come back here so you get a nice full view of that cabin. What do you think of that? I think that arranges really nicely. There you go. Let's leave that one. Just across from here, we've got a little storage area for all the essentials you need on board a boat. And there is one more cabin to show you. I am going to pop the lights on for this, if I can manage to turn them on. I wonder why that's not turning on. Anyway, not to worry. We'll forge ahead. And it's this cabin. And this is really clever. There's 2 bunks, but the cabin's kind of separated. The second part of this cabin steps down into the hull. So the first bed is like this. It even has a little wine fridge just there. So that's got its own hanging space like that behind there. And then the second of the berths ducks down into here. That's really cool. There you go. Actually, I'll come all the way down into here. So there's a good amount of headroom down in here. This is quite good. So you can see there's spaces there for you to pop your belongings. There's even storage underneath this bed. So places to put your overnight bag or whatever you might have is in there. There you go. I've seen this before in one other boat. I can't recall. It might have been another Grand Banks actually, maybe a 60. But that works particularly well. So we've seen 3 cabins, 2 heads, 6 berths. We've seen the main deck salon, that beautiful galley with that incredible stone. I think I've got a bit of a stone fixation today. There you go. So the last place to show you is the engine rooms, and we're going to duck down there now. Okay, oh, nice to see some stairs that aren't too steep. That's very welcome. I've had a couple that were a bit challenging this week at the show, trust me. Great storage in the lazarette. You can see there we've got those deck rails that stack away. We've got extra cooling down here. You could probably get some extra laundry facilities down here as well. There's quite a bit of space as that moves back, and it's a bit of a cue to the quality of these boats. Look at the finishing down here as well. The same high standards that we saw everywhere else on the boat. I think you can tell something about the way different parts of a boat are finished off. Those areas where are not typically seen by guests. There you go. And then if we swing in here into the engine room, wow, it's stunning. I don't think I've seen decking like this in an engine room on anything else. There you go. I wasn't expecting that. That looks fantastic. The Cummins generator is directly in front of us, and then on either side of that, I'll just step forward a bit so we can see that. You can see that these are Volvo Penta engines. I'll get the specs off Grand Banks. They've got those at hand, and I'll put those up on the screen for you so you can get an idea of the performance of the boat. And I'll just come forward a little bit more so you get a better view of everything. It's very, very big down here, bigger than I was expecting. It's surgically clean. It is spotless down here. Absolutely spotless. This could be a contender for Engine Room of the Year. If that's an award, I've just made up an award. There you go. Engine Room of the Year. That's pretty impressive. There you go. Beautiful. Fuel filters, etc. All incredibly clean and neat and beautifully laid out. There you go. One more view. Stunning. Okay, well, I'll back out of here and I'll move back up onto the aft cockpit, and we'll finish this one up. Well, I think that was something really special, and Eastbay 60. I'm so thrilled I could bring this to you guys, the first one that's ever made its way to Australia, and the people from the Grand Banks group, they were so kind in getting me on board this afternoon. I thought it was really worthwhile though. Some really special things. You'll have to remind me not to gush about backlit stone in the comments. But anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Share and like it and subscribe if you haven't already. We do a lot of great videos every week. But I'll see you next week on another video. Bye for now.